Welcome to Raider Basketball as you're looking live at the Irvin J. Nutter Center. I'm Geoff Kim along with Toni Roesch as we are proud to have the second of two exhibition games as the women's team takes on Supreme Court. Toni, they came off a strong win in that first game last week.
Great execution by Wright State. They did a wonderful job. Good team effort.
They certainly did, and of course they're looking tonight against Supreme Court, very seasoned team, if you will. What are the keys tonight to success?
This team has a great deal of maturity, so it's an opportunity for Wright State to be able to push the ball up the court. I do believe conditioning is going to be a factor, but Wright State has to be careful of the shooting from the outside from Supreme Court.
Talking about some of the keys or possible keys to success tonight for Wright State. Last week they shot 86% from the charity stripe and had 5 players in double figures. Maybe we're looking for more of the same.
They will definitely have to do the same. It's an opportunity for Wright State to be able to push the ball up the court. Conditioning will definitely be a factor today, and Wright State has the advantage to that.
And we're looking forward to that as Wright State will take on Supreme Court, and Toni and I will have all the play-by-play in just a moment. And we're set to get things tipped off here at the Irvin J. Nutter Center. It'll be Wright State and Supreme Court. And while we have a moment, let's give you the starting lineups. First for Supreme Court. And the guard spots, it's number 30, Sharon Caldwell, 5'6" out of Central State. Her running mate at guard will be number 3, Kathy Williams, a 5'8" alumnus of Eastern Illinois. The forwards tonight, number 35, Yolanda Carpenter, 5'8" out of Northwestern State. And Beverly Williams, number 24, 6 foot tall out of Eastern Illinois. The center is Sherry Jackson wearing the number 33, 6'1" tall out of Sinclair. For Wright State, well, Supreme Court, they are also led by their head coach, Tobette Pleasant Brown. For Wright State, under the direction of Lisa Fitch. At the guard spots, it's number 24, Mandy Jelinek, 5'6" sophomore out of Hortonville, Wisconsin, along with number 10, Shanda Hollingsworth, 5'5" sophomore out of Carmel, Indiana. The forwards tonight are number 40, Jess Vandergeest, 5'11" junior out of Merrill, Wisconsin.
Go Raiders!
And we're looking here. And number 22, Regin Stewart, 5'9" sophomore out of Indianapolis. The center is number 25, the freshman, Kelly Morris, 6'1" out of Miamisburg. As we get set to tip things off. And the tip will go to Wright State, and we are underway. Shot to Jay, no good. Air. Tussle for it on the ball, jump ball, and the possession will go the other way to Supreme Court.
It's a good opportunity for Jan to come up and pull up for a jumper. Unfortunately, it didn't fall. She was a little short.
So no score as we are just 15 seconds into this ball game, and the inbound will come to number 30, Sharon Caldwell. She will handle the ball on the initial first drive or the first series. And this one, the pass errant and nice defense by Shanda Hollingsworth.
Wright State looking to push the ball up the court.
Out of bounds, a long pass out on the baseline, and Supreme Court will take on over. Bad pass there.
Wright State picking up full court, going to put some pressure on Supreme Court. Going to test their ball handling skills.
Moving up the court is Sharon Caldwell. Behind the arc, feeds underneath, a nice bit of passing, but it'll be turned on over. Looking for Sherry Jackson underneath, and that pass just a little bit off.
Supreme Court looking to attack from the backside. Good cut from the backside into the middle post, and that's where they got the ball.
Mandy Jelinek will handle the point for Wright State. Over for Regin Stewart. She had a game-high 21 points, or rather a team-high 21 points in the last game against the Slovakians. Here's Jelinek for 3, and she will knock it down. And the first points of the game put up by Wright State.
Mandy did a nice job getting her feet underneath her, making sure that she was squared up.
3-0 in favor of the Raiders as we are just over a minute into this ball game. Pass goes to the baseline, and now back up on top. Caldwell trying to penetrate, puts it up from 17, no good. It's out, nearly out on the baseline, but Hollingsworth recovers. And the ball will be in favor of Wright State. Looks like Shanda was blocked out there on the baseline.
This Supreme Court team is really going to have a difficult time going up against this matchup. A little bit quicker paced, I think, than what Supreme Court's used to. Wright State's doing a nice job of making sure that they get the traps down in the corners, so Supreme Court is going to have a hard time. They're going to have to make sure that they move the ball.
The inbound will go to Jelinek, with Jess Vandergeest running alongside.
Mandy's doing a nice job of giving this team some very good leadership at the point position.
Jess on the baseline, looking to shoot. Now puts it in play, over for Jelinek. Another 3 attempt, and knock it down again. Mandy Jelinek, 6-0 Raiders.
Wright State being very patient, and then a half-court offense. Good penetration by Jess Vandergeest, and Mandy did again. Good job of getting her feet underneath her, pulling up for the jumper.
Loose ball on the floor, and we'll see where the position goes. It'll go to Wright State.
Supreme Court is going to have to make sure that they get the ball movement. They're not going to be able to penetrate this defense very well. They have to have good ball movement around the perimeter.
And timeout charge to Supreme Court. We'll keep things right here as we have 18:04 left to go in this first half. Talking about the keys to this ball game initially, and let's go back over them again. And talking about, first of all, pushing the ball up the court, and Wright State looking pretty good on offense so far in the half court.
Well, it's starting really with their defense. Wright State giving some pressure full court, making sure that they're turning Supreme Court in the full court and giving them some problems, making them handle the ball. In the half court, they're making sure that they are getting good traps down in the corner.
Taking a look at Mandy's last 3.
Mandy doing a nice job getting her feet underneath her, taking her time. She had all the time in the world to be able to get that off.
Tell you what, as a former guard, I'm sure you could appreciate that.
Unfortunately, when I played, we didn't have the three-point line.
We'll have to talk about that here in a little bit. Here's Hollingsworth back up on top for Stewart. They feed for Vandergeest, now back to the baseline. And Mandy will go for 3 again, and just off the mark. Out of bounds, but kept in play nicely by Jess Vandergeest.
Jess Vandergeest giving this team some great leadership.
The feed will go to Jess. Going to the hoop, reverse J is in, but they will wave off the basket.
Jess Vandergeest being all over the floor. She's continuing on where she left off in the last game against Slovakia. Jess was all over the floor. Ball being entered into the post. Jess did a nice job of sealing, going up. Right there, she got fouled.
Foul goes to Beverly Williams, a non-shooting foul, of course. And now Shanda will shoot the 3 and leave it short. But Mandy will track it down and reset the clock.
Well, if Wright State continues to score from the outside, they're going to have to pull Supreme Court out of their zone.
Nice feed inside for Regin Stewart. It's 8-0.
But conditioning is definitely going to be a factor, and that's why Supreme Court's sitting back in that zone.
Williams on over for Caldwell. Now they trap number 20, County Hamburg, on the far side.
Good trap by Wright State.
Pass blocked away. Jess trying to get it before it goes out of bounds, can't get to it. And it'll be a Supreme Court possession at court. Supreme
Court is going to have to make sure that they move the ball. They're dribbling way too much against this zone. You have to have good ball movement.
Cindy Lamping, 5'10" out of Purdue, and Carol Manson-Miller, 6 foot tall, a guard out of Xavier, now into the ballgame for Supreme Court. There's a shot attempt from the baseline, a little long, and the rebound goes to Shanda Hollingsworth.
Shanda looking to push the ball up the court.
And steps taken by Mandy Jelinek.
Supreme Court did a good job of getting back in transition defense. You have to give them credit because they know Wright State is going to run.
16:49 left to play first half. Wright State pitching the shutout so far, 8-0.
Wright State doing a wonderful job picking up full court, putting pressure on. Really starting to pick up the pace, and Supreme Court isn't liking the pace of the game too well.
Manson-Miller feeds inside. Nice pass. Shot put up. Partially blocked, and the rebound by number 10. And we've got a foul underneath.
Shanda was down on that backside trying to get that box out, but unfortunately, she was outsized a little bit by Janet Hanberg.
Yeah, she's not small out there. 6'3" out of Xavier. And yes, of course, she did play the center position. I think that almost went without saying. But going back to this last remark, you played at a time when there wasn't a three-point line. Now, there was obviously an adjustment because all of a sudden that outside shot from 19 feet, 9 inches away wasn't quite as big a deal. You could shoot from inside, and it wouldn't have made a difference.
I don't know, Jeff, am I dating myself that the fact that the three-point line wasn't in place? If you take a look at the monitor right here, Shanda doing a good job of boxing out. Unfortunately, Janet had a little bit of size on her going up strong, and Regin fouled her right there as she was going up for the shot.
Janet Hamburg is at the line, 2 throws.
2 throws for that alumnus of Xavier. 6'3", that is not small. And she breaks the shutout.
Well, Janet moves very well. She had a good career at Xavier. She did very well. She's a mobile player, and she moves quite a bit.
And that's very interesting to say as she gets them both because she is 6'3". That is not, you would think someone that size wouldn't be normally that mobile.
Oh, she's very smooth.
Regin baseline J in and wave off the basket.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Nice little pull-up jumper by Regin as she made that penetration. She likes that short corner right there. That's one of her favorite shots.
Like the foul on number 20, Connie Hamburg. Non-shooting foul, and this attempt by Kelly Morris is in.
Shanna Hollingsworth did a nice job of setting the back screen, opening that up for Kelly.
10-2, Raiders. Madsen Miller, back up the top for Hamburg. Back on over to Madsen Miller on the baseline.
Once again, Supreme Court making that dribble, and that's causing them some problems.
Here's a shot for three, left a little short by Hamburg. And we got a foul, and it looks like Regin will be flagged, or will it be Mandy? Yep, it's on Regin Stewart, her first. Or actually, rather, her second already in these first few minutes, and the team's second.
Well, you got to give Wright State credit. They're trying to box out, but they're just being outsized a little bit.
Jen Hannenberg gets the easy deuce. She's accounted for all their scoring. It's 10-4.
Good perimeter passing by Wright State. They're doing a good job of the ball movement. Once again, Jess Vandergeest inside.
Strong, too strong. In fact, going underneath, and looked like Beverly Williams was trying to stop her down there.
As you'll be able to see from the replay, once again, ball being entered from the wing down into the low post. Just made a nice little cut coming over, receiving the ball and going up strong, coming in on the reverse side.
Check that, it's on Hannenberg. And the first of two shooting for Jess is good.
When you're playing against a zone defense, you have to have two things. You have to have ball movement, and you have to have people movement. And Wright State is doing both of those very well, and that's where they're able to get the ball inside and as well as scoring from the outside.
Kathy Williams back into the ball game for Supreme Court, but coming on in for the first time, number 41 for Wright State, Lenora Combs. And the second of two is in. And we've got a timeout on the floor. So with 15:41 left to go here in the first half, Wright State Raiders lead it 12-4. We'll be back in just a moment. Twelve to 4 is your score. First half here at the Irvin J. Nutter Center as Wright State takes on Supreme Court. And looking right now, Wright State initially sparked by the long shots. The threes by Mandy Jelinek.
Well, it's great ball movement by Wright State. They're doing a nice job of moving the ball around the perimeter, but at the same time, they have some great cuts from inside. And you got to give credit to Jess Vandergeest because Jess is allowing and enabling Wright State to free some things open because they have an inside-out look. And that is why Mandy's been able to get some of her shots off that she has.
Speaking of Jess, along with Kelly Morris and Regin Stewart, they all each have 2 points to complement Mandy Jelinek. 4 points so far, the only 4 points so far put up tonight by Janet Hannenberg for Supreme Court. 12-4 is your score. Madsen Miller wide open, and her shot was blocked, or her pass was blocked.
That's unusual for Carol to pass that up. She's a good shooter, especially from the three-point line.
And she fouls Shanda Hollingsworth as she saw Amber Williams, who just enters this ball game, dashing all by herself in the front court.
Well, Amber does what she does best, and that's getting out and filling their lane.
So an easy foul there. Non-shooting. Still early in this ball game.
Shanna's doing a nice job of pushing the ball up the court, keeping the ball in the middle of the floor and looking for her teammates.
As Coach Lisa Fitch looks on, and the inbound goes to Hollingsworth. She thought about the shot from 19.
She's very capable of taking that.
Amber Williams, shot for three, a little wide off the mark.
That's a good shot for Amber. She had the time, she was wide open.
Madsen Miller up ahead. And the pass back to her, and she'll trigger the three and leave it short. The follow by Beverly Williams is no good, and we have a whistle underneath.
Yeah, that's what we just talked about. Carol Madsen, she is a shooter, and she will put it up from anywhere. She's very capable of scoring. Carol having a good career at Xavier, playing at Purdue for 1 year and transferring over to Xavier. She did very well.
No doubt about it. In fact, a very big factor in those MCC tournaments. Shanda Hollingsworth will trigger the long three, and it's wide. But rebounded underneath by Amber Williams. Jay put up no good, and it will head the other way to Supreme Court as the ball heads out of bounds on the baseline.
Wright State being feeling very comfortable in their half-court offense. Just a matter of time before they get their feet underneath them, continuing to score from that three-point line.
Caldwell will re-enter for Supreme Court as Janine Andrews, number 42, a 6'2 junior out of Indianapolis, will check on in place of Kelly Morris.
When you're going against a zone, you have to make sure that you take your shots when you have the opportunity, and that's exactly what Wright State is doing.
Nearly taken away by Williams, now looking for an outlet, and they get it up ahead for Caldwell. This one thrown out of bounds, and it'll be a Wright State possession.
Amber Williams really giving Cindy Lamping a hard time in that full court.
Inbound will go to Shanda Hollingsworth. Inside to Janine, and a nice pass to Jess Vandergeest, and in.
Once again, an outside-in look. Good cut by Jess. Perimeter players are doing a great job of seeing her cutting.
Guard pressure in the backcourt, and they nearly got the ball away. Lamping up ahead, and a foul.
Janet and Amber doing a nice job with the little run and jump. They only have 2 players up. They're not bringing all 5 players up in the full court. And that's partly because Supreme Court is taking everybody back, but that's also making Supreme Court really work, bringing the ball up the court.
Lamping triggers to Caldwell. Now on over to number 3, Kathy Williams, puts it in play. And so far, nice defense by the Raiders. Traffic, but put up and in. Yolanda Carpenter, 5'8" out of Northwestern State, a forward, gets the deuce, and it's now 14-6.
That was good penetration by Cindy Lamping.
Amber Williams wide open and leaves it short, and the rebound by Caldwell.
Once again, Amber taking the shot when she had it.
Breaks the pressure, feeds underneath, now back out. High-low game, and they get it from 18. Number 3, Kathy Williams again, and it's now 14-8. The Raiders still lead by 6.
Kathy Williams had all the time in the world to get her shot off, and she was able to get her feet underneath her.
Lenora Combs get a touch on the ball, and nearly bobbled by Amber Williams.
Wright State kind of backing off a little bit right now. They're not quite having the same ball movement that they had early on.
Combs will trigger the shot for 3, no good, and the rebound by Lamping.
Once one, she might have been a little bit more patient because that's not one of her strong suits in shooting that ball from the perimeter.
Lamping for 3, and they'll leave it off the front of the rim. And taken away from Andrews, and number 3 again, Kathy Williams puts it on in. Janine Andrews came down a little awkward, and she had the ball easily taken away.
Yeah, she was a little off balance when she came down with that.
Lamping the rebound off a miss by Williams. The Supreme Court trying to find a little momentum here. They've scored the last 3 straight buckets.
Wright State being a little quick on the trigger with their shots.
And this one turned on over. Pass intended underneath for Beverly Williams, and Wright State will take on over.
Mandy Jelinek back in the game for Shanda Hollingsworth. Both players at the point position are doing a nice job pushing the ball up the court.
To wait the inbounds. Wright State coming off a strong win in their first exhibition game of the year over Rota Banska, the Slovakian team that we had so much trouble talking about last week, 88-72. Well, I can't speak for myself. I can't speak for you, Tony, but I can speak for myself on that one.
I'm not sure I'd want to have to pronounce those names again.
Mandy Jelinek at the point. And now Carrie Bender into this ball game. And Amber, the 3, and she'll knock it down. Amber Williams gets in the scoring column, and it's now 17-10.
No, that was good ball movement, but also they had good player movement as well.
Nice move to the hoop, but no good, and just Janine Andrews gets the rebound, and a foul underneath on Sharon Caldwell.
Well, that was an opportunity where really nobody picked up the basketball. They allowed the penetration, and what has to happen is somebody has to stop the ball, and you can't look at giving the ball up to somebody else. You've got to maintain the pressure on the ball, and that was why she was able to split the defense.
We mentioned Carrie Bender into this ball game, 5'8" senior out of Canfield. And we've got a timeout on the floor with 11:46 left to play in half number 1. The Raiders lead at 17-10. This is Raider basketball on Media One. 17-10 in favor of the Wright State Raiders, and they're picking off where they left off in the first exhibition game, Toni Roesch.
Well, Wright State, they really are being very patient in their half-court set. There was a couple of possessions, though, where they were a little complacent, not quite having the ball movement, not quite having the personnel movement, making sure that they're getting the cuts. You have to have both. And as you can see, Amber Williams, they had good ball movement that possession. Amber Williams stepping right in and being able to put up her shot. When Amber has time, she's very much a threat.
And she still looks like, in watching her this game and the last game, she looks like she still needs to get a little warmed up, but when she comes alive in the second half, well, she'll really come alive. Here's Vandergeest from the free throw line in.
Wright State working that high post. Jess Vandergeest doing a nice job turning around and taking her shot when she had the opportunity. Little full court pressure, slowing the ball down a little bit by Wright State.
Feed for Lamping. They go to the baseline. Shot put up and in. Number 20, Connie Hamburg. She gets her 6th point of the night, and it's 19-12 with 11:11 left to play in this first half.
Well, Supreme Court has a lineup in there where they're a little bit quicker and a little bit better ball handlers.
Bender for 3, knock it down. Carrie Bender gets on the scoreboard, and it's now 22-12.
I think that was from downtown.
Oh, way downtown. This one gets by Bender, and they're still lucky, Supreme Court is, to get that possession, but nicely taken away by Vandergeest.
I bet Carrie Bender wish she had that one back. That one went right between her legs.
Mandy Jelinek looking to run the O. And Vandergeest at the free throw line again, and got it.
Jess Vandergeest stepping up and taking that shot. She's wide open. She might as well take it because nobody's matching up on her.
Jess has 8 points, and it's now 24-12. And taken away by Jess Vandergeest. And here come the Raiders. They have a few numbers, 4-on-2. Mandy back to Jess at the free throw line again, and in and out. Rebounded by Lamping.
Jess Vandergeest doing a good job of pushing the ball up the court.
And no basket, but a foul. A hard foul by Carrie Bender on Janet Hanneberg, and she is down, and she'll be able to get up. She'll be okay. Wow, she took a hard hit, though.
Well, as you can see here, Supreme Court pushing the ball up the court. Janet Hanneberg taking it in. Carrie just a little late getting there to take that charge. She was trying to get there, though.
So Hanneberg will go to the line, 2 throws.
Well, Janine Andrews is really a good matchup for Janet Hanneberg. Janet really had a little bit of a mismatch in terms of quickness and being able to move a little bit freely inside. And Janine Andrews was giving her a little bit of a hard time when she was able to move in there. And Janine making sure that she's taking Janet on her chest and deny her the ball.
Hanneberg gets them both. She has 6 points, and it's now 24-14. New addition to the Wright State lineup. It's Renata Springer wearing the number 44 and a whistle underneath.
Well, this will be a test for Renata going inside against Janet.
Renata, a 6'1" freshman out of Shelby. And it's going to rate the return of Lenora Combs back to the lineup. Hanberg that time, the foul. Combs in the ball game. Jess will get a well-deserved rest on the bench.
This is why these exhibition games are so good, because you have an opportunity to really gain some valuable experience before starting the regular season.
Amber Williams put it up, and she'll get the bonus try.
It's a good opportunity to assess where you are, and certainly going up against a Supreme Court team, you have quite a bit of experience, so it's a good test for this young team.
Second of 2, and no good. Renata Springer, the stick back and in. Well, that took a while, but it got done, and the Raiders lead at 27-14.
Well, part of that was initiated by Lenora Combs. Lenora came over and slid across the lane, which left Renata wide open to be able to get that rebound.
Renata gets the ball and leads up the court. Here's Amber Williams, transition, and no good, but a traveling call, and they'll head the other way.
Once again, Amber Williams doing a good job of getting out filling the lane. Unfortunately, Amber did not go in at a very good angle to be able to receive the ball. She went straight down the court. That's why you teach your players to get out wide, so that as you come in, you're able to receive the ball, go right in at a good angle to the basket.
Mandy Jelinek will leave for Shanda Hollingsworth, who returns. And the lead up ahead for Madsen Miller, guarded by Williams. Caldwell has it, now feeding to the near side. They feed underneath, and that one is rejected off the rim. Fight for the ball, and Supreme Court recovers. Here's a shot, and no good. Stick back attempt, yes. Number 3, Kathy Williams gets the deuce, and it's now 27-16.
Supreme Court doing a much better job of spreading out Wright State's defense. They have a little bit better ball movement, and certainly they're moving as well themselves.
Fresh 30 on the shot clock on the deflection off the leg out of bounds. And the inbound will come from Bender, one of the tri-captains on this team this year for Wright State. Jana Hollingsworth leading the charge at the point. Bender eyeing that 3 again.
There you go. They got a little bit better spacing. Had 2 players at the high post there, a little bit better spacing.
Deflected away, but Amber Williams recovers, looking to penetrate now. The dish back, and the shot from way downtown, and knock it down, Shanda Hollingsworth.
Shanda likes that 3. Can't give her an opportunity to get her feet set.
30-16. We've got 8:50 left to play in the first half. Unbelievable. Way downtown. Feed goes underneath. Turn around. Jay, no good. The stick back is no good. And Wright State should have the rebound. They do in Lenore Combs.
Shanda pushing the ball up the court. Looking for Carrie Bender.
As Bender, in fact, and now back to Hollingsworth. And they play the 2 guard in the backcourt. Combs to the hoop. No good.
That's great penetration by Lenora Combs going baseline.
Contact by Combs. And number 33, Sherry Jackson. And Combs will get flagged with the foul.
Supreme Court substitution number 35, Yolanda Carpenter.
A little bit surprising. I'm not sure. Lisa just must be trying to put a little token pressure on Supreme Court, just making sure that they handle the ball, taking a little bit of time off the clock. Because I know the other night against Slovakia, they had all 5 players up, really pressuring the ball.
Yolanda Carpenter re-enters the ball game for number 33, Sherry Jackson. And they try and feed underneath for Carpenter, puts it up off the back of the rim and no good. As 2 Rams fight for the rebound, and it goes out of bounds and will remain a Supreme Court possession. Really the first real big mistake we've seen from Wright State tonight.
Well, Yolanda Carpenter is doing a good job of coming in and stepping in, and Renata needs to make sure that she sees her cutting from the backside.
And an offensive foul will head the other way.
Wright State just has to make sure that when they come down with the rebound, that they chin the ball, they take it right to their chin, and they give it up to the point guard. Because Shonda's doing a good job of pushing the ball up the court, but you have to make sure that that point guard comes back and receives the ball.
Williams, the feed on over for Bender. Now back up high for Springer. And now Williams again, and she'll turn it to a 3 and leave it a little long.
Well, Supreme Court in a man defense that time.
Oh, an easy transition basket. Yolanda Carpenter, who just came in the last timeout, gets the deuce, and it's now 30-18.
Supreme Court really picking up their defense right now.
Williams over for Kelly Waters now into this ball game for Wright State. Williams looking to dish, penetrate, and loses the handle on it. Madsen Miller picks it up, and here comes Supreme Court.
Well, as long as Supreme Court stays in that man, it will free Amber up.
Jumper from 19 is good. Number 3, Kathy Williams, the deuce. She has 8 points, and it's now 30-20. We got 7:05 left to play in half number 1.
Supreme Court starting to pick up their pace a little bit, getting out and filling their lanes. Wright State has to make sure that they match up on transition D.
Bender with the ball. Near side for Shanda Hollingsworth. Over now for Amber Williams. Not afraid to shoot the ball, that's for sure. Feed underneath for Springer, and she is fouled. Foul comes underneath by Yolanda Carpenter.
Well, that was a good pass by Kelly Waters into Renata. Renata doing a good job of getting the defense on her back.
And Renata will head to the line. We neglected to really kind of get into some detail, so we will know. Kelly Waters, who came in on that last significant timeout, is in this ball game. She's a 5'11 freshman out of Cold Spring, Kentucky. In fact, let's go over the starting the 5 on the floor right now. It's Bender, Hollingsworth, Williams, Waters, and Springer.
It'll be interesting to see if they pick up full court, if all 5 players will come up a little bit. Supreme Court they actually have all 5 right now in the back court, so it'll be interesting to see.
Springer will get the bonus try after acing the first, and she will ace the second. And we've got a timeout on the floor. So with 6:46 left to play in the half number 1, the Wright State Raiders lead it by double digits. It's 32-20. It's Raider basketball on Media One. 32-20 in favor of Wright State. And they've jumped out to that double-digit lead and have held it there. And you know what? That's really thanks Toni Roesch to the three-point basket now.
Well, it goes back to great ball movement by Wright State. They're moving the ball extremely well. Supreme Court looking to mix some things up going into the man defense. But as you can take a look right here, Amber Williams coming in, looking to make a little bit of the penetration, kicking it back out to Shonda. She's doing a great job. Shonda doing a good job of getting her feet set. Penetration really opens some things up, and that's why Supreme Court has to go to their man.
Hamburg up ahead for Lamping, now ahead for Madsen Miller. Come back to the near side, Lamping baseline, and we got a blocking foul.
Well, Jess got caught there coming out at a little bit bad angle. She wasn't able to get her feet set and making sure that she closes out as she comes out. As you are recovering out onto the ball, you want to close out, and kind of stutter step as you come in so you don't get beat on the drive.
Inbound will come from Carpenter. And yet another whistle.
It looks like Carol Madsen was out of bounds when she received that pass.
So Wright State will take possession, and now both teams in the bonus. So it'll be a couple throws on fouls.
Supreme Court staying in this man defense. This should free some things up by the penetration right there. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Exactly.
As we speak, Regin Stewart takes it in.
Regin, of course, back into the ball game. Her 4th point of the night, and it's 34-20. Madsen Miller wide open and just a little short on the three. Here comes Jelinek, and here comes the Raiders. They have some numbers, 4 on 2. Here's Regin Stewart underneath, and her shot blocked out of bounds.
Once again, Wright State doing a good job having 3 people out filling their lanes. Regin Stewart receiving the ball, going in strong. She just needs to protect the ball a little bit more with her body.
Stewart to inbound, the trigger here on the near baseline. Underneath for Kelly Morris, back into this ball game and in.
Kelly Morris just cutting right in there, totally uncontested.
36-20, we've got 5:53 left to play in half number 1.
Wright State slowing the ball down.
Madsen Miller underneath, and the shot put up no good. Here's a stick back attempt and in. Kathy Williams gets the deuce, and it's now 36-22.
That's where Wright State has to make sure they get a good box out. You cannot give Supreme Court second opportunities.
Bender over for Jess Vanderdiest on the far wing. Kathy Morris, and Kelly Morris rather, and she is fouled.
Kelly Morris was putting that ball down. It looked like she was going to make that pass to Regin Stewart. Regin really wanted that ball from the backside. She slid right in there, getting underneath. Yolanda Carpenter really wanting that ball. As you can see here, the pass goes from Jess up to Kelly. And right there, Regin Stewart getting in there, really working hard. She wanted that ball.
Beverly Williams guilty of the infraction, and now Kelly Morris will shoot the one in the bonus.
Well, they got a tough act to follow from the other night, shooting, I believe, 87% from the line. That's a hard one to follow.
Well, she missed the front end of the 1-and-1, so Supreme Court the other way. Madsen Miller gets the ball on a tough pass to handle, and they try and go baseline move, put it up, yes, and count it, or they wave it off. They will count it. Cindy Lamping will get the deuce, or will they count it? They're headed the other way.
They will count it. It looks like there was a foul after the shot, after the basket had gone in.
That's a tough break. Mandy Jelinek caught in the crossfire there, and she will be the beneficiary heading to the line.
Well, this is a good test for Wright State in terms of their trapping out of their matchup, because Supreme Court is actually doing a much better job of moving the ball. So if you're going to get the trap, you really have to get the trap and not allow that ball to be able to be moved, because it frees too many things up.
Mandy got the front end, and now we'll get the bonus, or rather get the second try. And put that one home too. Well, not bad from the charity stripe tonight, shooting just over 78%. And the Raiders continue to lead now by 14, 38-24. Lamping in play, and the other way for Madsen Miller. Passes up the three, turnaround Jay underneath, no good, and Kathy Williams was foul head to the basket.
Well, as you can see right here, Carol's looking to make that pass inside. And you have Kathy Williams going up strong, getting the foul.
Kelly Morris guilty of the foul, and she'll shoot 2. Williams will, and ace the first.
Supreme Court's doing a good job of spreading Wright State's defense out. It's really making Wright State work a little bit.
Hollingsworth will replace Bender out on the floor.
Supreme Court working the triangle, and they also have a high look and also a low post look, and they're doing a good job of dumping it inside.
Williams gets them both, 38-26, a 12-point lead, and this shot, or this pass rather, is blocked, but Wright State will recover.
Wasn't a bad look by Mandy.
Waters back up on top. Morris thought about the shot, and now passed underneath, and a foul underneath, and they'll head the other way.
She just thought a little bit too much about that one. Right idea.
Took that half step, and, well, they caught that. Wright State continuing to show some guard pressure up front. Popping the 3 is Madsen Miller, and she'll knock it home.
Can't give Carol an opportunity. She's starting to get in her rhythm now, and that could be dangerous.
9-point lead for the Raiders.
Raiders back in their man defense right now, kind of sagging back a little bit, not really pressuring the passes too much, but they were definitely in a man.
Here's a 3, knock it down, Kelly Morris.
As we speak, they were sagging back a little bit. Janet Handberg sagging off a little bit. Kelly Morris taking her shot.
Wright State really lighting it up from behind the arc tonight. Turnaround J, yes. Janet Hannenberg gets the deuce, and it's now a 10-point lead. Raiders lead at 41-31.
That's a dangerous combination right there. Those two are very used to playing with each other, and they see each other on the court.
20-second timeout charge to Wright State. We'll keep things right here. Wright State has allowed Supreme Court to come back into the ballgame a little bit. They have reduced the lead at times to a single digit, but leading by 10 right now.
Well, it's a combination of a couple of things. Supreme Court has picked up their play a little bit, picking up the pace, which is causing Wright State's defense a little bit of problems, because when you're playing against that matchup, it's hard. Really, when you got quick ball movement, it's hard to get there. So this is a good test for them. But at the same time, you've got that experience by Supreme Court. You got Carol Madsen, who's used to looking at Janet Hannenberg. Those two were teammates at Xavier, and both had very good careers.
Shanda Hollingsworth on top for Waters, looking to penetrate, get some room, puts it up off glass and in.
Great penetration by Kelly Waters, and doing a nice job with her left hand, kissing it right off the glass.
And now she joins the scoring column. It's 43-31. The feet underneath and a foul. Morris, so you're going to get Morris on this one.
Yeah. Kelly attempting to get there and trying to deny the ball, and getting Janet on her chest, and that's what you need to do. You need to take that cutter and take them on your chest. As you can see right here, the ball comes down to the baseline. Janet Hannenberg going from the wing, from the top, going down to that corner right there, looking to get the ball. And Kelly doing a nice job of trying to take her on her chest. She just needs to get there a little bit sooner and establish her position.
Hannenberg looking to shoot the 1-and-1.
You know, Kelly Waters picking up that foul, but at the same time, there has to be some pressure put on the ball out on the wing, not allowing that pass inside.
Get the bonus try. Hannenberg, including that shot, is 5 for 5 from the stripe. Wright State really shooting well, shooting at a 54% clip from the field, including 6 of 13 from behind the three-point arc.
Wright State's shot selection is pretty good. They're pushing the ball up the court. They have a good combination of inside-out looks, and they're doing a nice job of being patient.
We've reached our under 4 break, and the Raiders lead it by 10, 43-33. It's Raider basketball on Media One. (43-33) in favor of Wright State and Toni Roesch. A lot of superlatives so far for the home team, Wright State Raiders.
Well, Wright State having 5 steals already and limiting their turnovers. They only have 6 turnovers, and I know that was one of Lisa Fitch's concerns coming into the season, is taking care of the ball. But at the same time, Supreme Court is not picking up full court, and they're not pressing, and so that is somewhat of a factor. But in the half-court offense, Wright State is doing a nice job at taking care of the basketball, being very selective in their shots.
Hollingsworth, Jelinek, Waters, Vandergeest, and Andrews, the 5 on the floor for Wright State. And Mandy will lead at the point. Up 10 with 3:15 left to play in the first half.
Mandy and Chanda making sure that they do a nice job of controlling the ball. They make a very nice combination. Both of them are very steady players.
Vandergeest puts it in play with 9 on the shot clock, puts it up from 10, no good, off the front of the rim and rebounded underneath by Janet Hannenberg.
Well, you get to 10 seconds there and you have to make something happen. That's where Jess made sure she made the penetration, looking to create a little bit.
Try and get it underneath for Lamping. Now back up ahead for Hannenberg. Back underneath. And the J in the paint is no good.
Wright State going that time with a man defense, and it's a good look. It's going to be a nice little test for them in terms of matchups.
Offensive foul. Wright State gets the ball.
You have to be able to mix up your defenses. You have to throw some different looks, and I know that Wright State is going to be playing a lot of zone this year, but it's a good opportunity for them to practice their man defense.
Amber Williams back on in. Now she gets the ball. Back up on top. Andrews. Now for Williams. Will pipe it from 17. No good. And Wright State looking to track it down. They do.
Good hustle by Amber Williams, looking to get her own rebound. Wright State being patient in their half-court offense. They've got time on the clock.
Andrews from 18, and she leaves it long, gets her own miscue, and it's taken away.
Well, that's a good shot by Andrews and good second effort.
Hannenberg up front and in, and count the foul. Late defense by Wright State, and Hannenberg will go to the line for an old-fashioned three-point try.
Well, Hannenberg, she's getting out and filling her lane. She definitely plays both ends of the court.
And she knows how to get to the line and complete over there. 6 for 6 so far from the charity stripe.
You gotta love it though. Anytime you have the opportunity to score, you gotta take advantage of it.
Her first miscue of the night, but Supreme Court gets it back. And they go baseline, double team the kick out for Lamping.
Wright State putting a little bit more pressure on the ball. Unfortunately, she ended up picking up that foul. But you have to have pressure on the ball. You have to eliminate that pass, that entry pass from the wing down into the low post. Because Janet she's too strong of a player. As much as you can eliminate her from getting the ball, the better off you're going to be.
Lenora Combs waiting to get back in as we are under 2 to play here in half number 1. Wright State leading by 8. Now Lamping looking to make it 6.
Cindy Lamping playing at Purdue. She had a good career there.
I'll tell you what, when you see some of these players from the Big Ten, and as well you know, the respect that it deserves. The Big Ten is quite a conference. Especially for basketball, and Lamping will make them both. And the Wright State lead is down to 6, 43 to 37. Amber Williams has the ball. Looking at Waters, now will drag the ball to the far side. Back up on high for Waters, looking to penetrate, puts it up from 10 and in and out. Everything but the basket. And the possession will go to Wright State. Nice hustle by Amber Williams, but couldn't keep it from going out of bounds.
Well, that was a good, patient half-court set right there by Wright State. Unfortunately, Kelly Waters wasn't able to get that shot to fall.
This one nearly taken away by Williams. The pass will go to Hannenberg, and she'll miss it off the back of the rim. Lamping feeds underneath, and a foul. I think they're going to call contact on Lenora Combs, who just re-entered the ball game.
Well, that was good pressure by Wright State, getting their hands on the ball. Unfortunately, they weren't able to come down with the rebound. Long rebound right there. Lamping getting her hands on it, going up strong. Unfortunately, Lenora Combs not getting in position just to go straight up. You really don't want to reach over. You don't want to lean into them. You just need to go straight up. Move your feet, get your body in position, and go straight up just to be able to contest the shot.
Lamping makes another. She's 3 of 3 from the line, including that last one. And we'll get the second. Wright State, their lead now reduced to 4 points. And this is as low as we've seen it here in this ball game since the initial three-pointer by Mandy Jelinek.
Well, Supreme Court, they have the experience and very patient.
Hollingsworth on top for Williams, will hit the 3, no good. And a fight for the rebound, and come away by Hannenberg.
Amber Williams leaving her shots a little short. She's not using her legs as much as she should tonight. I don't know if she's a little fatigued, but she doesn't quite have her legs underneath her shot.
Hanson Miller back to Caldwell, feeding inside for Hannenberg. Now the kick out. Here's a shot from 18, no good, and Janine Andrews the rebound.
Wright State back in their matchup. Good pressure on the ball.
Here's a shot for 3, knock it down.
Well, Shandall was passing that shot up, but she came down the court seeing that she was wide open. Nobody picked her up. She did a good job of pulling up for her shot.
46-39, shot clock turned off. We are under 20 to play.
Wright State back
Williams.
in the...
Sorry, go ahead.
Wright State back in that matchup.
Baseline look and taken away by Lenore Combs. Up ahead for Amber Williams. Has it on the baseline, and she's gone out of bounds.
The pass just led Amber a little too much. She wasn't able to get her hands on it. A little bit long. Unfortunately, Amber stepping on the baseline.
1 second left to play in the half. Raiders by 7. They'll go into the halftime with a nice lead. And Kathy Williams will heave-ho, and that's intercepted by Waters. She'll put up from half court, and Eggleston. Unbelievable. So this half has come to a close, and we're at intermission. The Wright State Raiders lead Supreme Court 46-39. Halftime festivities coming up, and we'll be back in just a moment. And a happy return back to the Irvin J. Nutter Center. We're at intermission as the Wright State Raiders lead it 46-39 over Supreme Court in the second of 2 exhibition games that we're doing here on Media One. And Wright State, of course, like they did in Game 1, going out to a nice offensive lead.
Well, that's one of Lisa Fitch's concerns this year is she wants to be able to get out and run the ball and scoring, I believe, 88 points in the last game, in the last contest, and this time out they are shooting 47% and they have 46 points on the board. They're doing a good job of their shot selection, doing a good job of pushing the ball up the court.
Looking over some of the numbers here for Supreme Court, first of all. They're shooting 13 of 30 so far in this first half for just over 43%. They are 1 of 5 from behind the arc for 20%, but they've also gotten the job done from on the charity stripe. 12 of 13 for 92%. That is something.
Well, that's where that experience comes into play. You know, they have so much experience, and they're used to, you know, taking their time. They are really trying to control the tempo of the court, although Wright State is making sure that they really pressure Supreme Court, looking to pick up their tempo a little bit.
Looking over some of the scoring here, first of all, for Supreme Court again. Let's see if we got this straight. Yes, Yolanda Carpenter has 4 points, 12 points. One of the team highs, one of the game highs, in fact, for Kathy Williams. 3 points for Carol Madsen-Miller. 12 points also for Janet Hannenberg. 6 points for Cindy Lamping, and 2 points for Connie Hamburg. That makes 39 points out of, like I said, 13 of 30 shooting. Now looking ahead to Wright State, and they also have 9 players in the scoring column. You got to think that's going to be a factor here in the second half coming up.
Well, very much so. They're distributing the ball very well. Each player is making sure that they take some good shots. Wright State being very patient in their half court. But you also have to look at another one of the concerns of Lisa Fitch is the inside defensive play. And right there you've got Kathy Williams with 12 points, Janet Hannenberg with 12 points. Wright State has to make sure that they take those cutters, take them on their chest, not allow that ball entry from the wing into the inside and into the low post, and making sure that they keep the post players from Supreme Court outside of the paint.
Wright State 16 of 34 from the field in the first half for 47%. From behind the arc, and I think this is where the difference is being made, 7 of 15 for 47%, just a hair under 47%, and they are 7 of 9 from the line for 78%. So all around, good all around shooting for the Wright State Raiders.
Well, Wright State being very patient in their half court set, once again taking good shots. But at the same time, they're also taking advantage of Supreme Court sitting back, not only in the zone, but in a sagging man defense. They're not coming out and picking up the players. So Wright State's doing a good job of stepping up, getting their feet underneath their shot, and pulling up for their jumper right there at the three-point line. It's there, it's inviting, and they're taking it.
Well, you know, they leave you open no matter who you are. You got to take the shot if you do have your feet set. I think you will probably know that as well as anybody being a shooter.
Well, you do have to make sure that everybody's in place. You can't come down and take a quick jumper, but if you're coming down off a transition, everybody's in place. Nobody picks you up, just like they did it right there at the end of the first half with Chanda Hollingsworth coming down, and nobody picked her up. She came in, got her feet underneath her, pulled right up.
Talking about Shanda Hollingsworth, in fact, you know, she's been impressive with the three as we look here on the replay.
Well, she comes down looking to push the ball up the court. Nobody really open, nobody right there picking her up, so she gets her feet set and goes right up with it. It's money.
And it's in the bank. Talking about scoring, let's go down through the scoring for Wright State individually. Regin Stewart with 4 points, 8 points to lead the team. Actually, she's tied with the team lead, Jess Vandergeest. 7 points for Kelly Morris, the freshman. And interluding here, Toni Roesch, she's had a nice start to her college career, getting the start tonight, and also one of the team leaders in scoring.
Well, she's being tested, and she's actually responding very well to the test, but she's going up some stiff competition. Good experience, especially getting ready to start the beginning of the season.
6 points for Shanda Hollingsworth, 8 points for Mandy Jelinek, 3 points for Carrie Bender, 4 points for Amber Williams, 2 points for Kelly Waters, and 4 points for Renata Springer. And 16 of 34 once again from the field for 47%. Looking ahead, keys to success here in the second half, what do you see?
Well, they definitely have to make sure that they do not let Supreme Court dictate the tempo of the game. Supreme Court, they're kind of mixing it up a little bit. They're trying to find what's going to work for them. They're pushing the ball up the court. They're sitting back in their half-court defense. They have mixed up their defenses from the zone to the man. They're trying to find out what's going to work for them. At the same time, Wright State cannot sit back and fall into their tempo. They have to make sure that they pressure the ball. They have to make sure that they continue to move their feet defensively, because that's how they get out and run. That's why they have 46 points on the board, because not only are they pushing the ball up the court, but they're also being patient in their half-court offense.
Now, in seasons past, to see 46 points here at the half would be something somewhat out of character. We had been used to seeing some lower-scoring Wright State teams, and yet in the last couple of games, we have 46 here in this first half, and we also had 88 points in the season opener, the exhibition opener against Rodobanska, the Slovakian national traveling team. You know, is this a sign of things to come, do you think?
Oh, definitely a sign of things to come. Lisa's really doing a good job of recruiting her own style of players. She is doing a nice job of really teaching the game to these players and establishing what it is that she wants. You can tell by the half-court offense what it is that she's looking for. They are very patient getting into their sets, and they run their sets, execute their sets extremely well. But, you know, at the same time, you're also getting some very good leadership from some very young players. Starting 3 sophomores, they're establishing themselves very well. You have a backcourt of Shanda Hollingsworth and Mandy Jelinek, and those two are doing a nice job of really maintaining their poise and composure.
We've got about 20 seconds left to the start of the second half. We talked about the keys to the game. How are we progressing so far? What is Wright State completing?
Well, they are doing a very good job of pushing the ball up the court, and we had talked about conditioning being a factor. That's why Supreme Court's sitting back in a sagging man in a sagging zone. They don't want to get into a running game with Wright State.
So Wright State leading, as we had mentioned, once again, leading by 7, 46-39. We're so glad to have you along with us here on Media One. It's Raider Basketball. I'm Geoff Kim along with Toni Roesch as we await the start of half number 2. And the inbound will come from Supreme Court.
Supreme Court trying to get the ball in bounds before Wright State's on the court. Trying to get a quick little bucket.
Well, no gamesmanship here, right?
Is that where that experience comes into play?
Exactly. Carol Madsen Miller will inbound to Caldwell, and we are underway here in the second half.
Yeah, it's a few tricks of the trade there.
Madsen Miller gets the ball back, and they keep it on the perimeter and feed inside. Shot put up and in. Yolanda Carpenter the deuce, and it's now 46-41.
Well, once again, cutting from the backside into the middle, and that's where the center of that zone has to make sure that they're getting that cutter on the chest.
Regin Stewart back up on top for Mandy Jelinek. She had the 2 threes early in the first half. The feed underneath for Kelly Morris, knocked away, but Mandy comes up with it on the low block and in.
Nice little shot fake by Mandy. Mandy doing a good job of putting the ball up, taking it down onto the floor, pushing it in with that penetration. She did a good job.
Madsen Miller looking around and finding Caldwell on the near baseline. Coming back up on high. And a shot put up on the baseline off glass, no good. Stick back attempt, yes. Beverly Williams gets the deuce, and it's 48-43, Wright State by 5.
That's where Wright State has to make sure that they trap the ball. They're allowing Supreme Court to split the defense. They had an opportunity right there on the low block to stop and trap the ball, and they didn't.
Amber Williams waiting to get back into the ball game. Hollingsworth On over for Jelinek, thought about the three. Now back up on high. Regin Stewart driving strong, pulls it up, no good. Kelly Morris the rebound, stick back, no good. And Supreme Court comes away with it with Kathy Williams.
Well, Regin Stewart has to get a little bit active right now, and she did that by making that penetration. They need a little bit more scoring out of her.
Caldwell thought about the shot, feeds inside, no good, and contact underneath with Jess Vandergeest.
Back to that last possession, Regin doing a good job putting her head down and making the penetration to the basket. But with the outside scoring, Regin really hasn't touched the ball a whole lot, but it might be a different story in the second half.
Regin, of course, had 21 points in that last game against the Slovakian traveling team in their victory, the first exhibition game of the year. And this one put up and in. Beverly Williams at the line. She's 6 foot tall out of Eastern Illinois.
Well, Slovakia had a hard time matching up with Wright State and vice versa, and that's why Wright State played a lot of zone. But Regin Stewart definitely taking advantage of the mismatch.
Williams gets them both, and the lead is cut to 3, 48-45. We've got 18-10 left to play here in the ball game. Amber Williams now into the ball game for Wright State.
Wright State working that high post, down screen on the ball side, and you have the ball reversal.
Mandy Jelinek gets the pick and a foul on the play.
Wright State likes to work the triangle, and they have a little down screen, excuse me, a little down screen from the wing down into the post, and they try to work that triangle, and then if they don't receive it, then they pass the ball and reverse it, and they work it again from the other side.
Stewart inbounds to Williams. Now inside for Kelly Morris, puts it in play. We've got a whistle, and we'll head the other way. Offensive foul.
Kelly attempting to make the right move, checking the defense on her shoulder, which is exactly what you want to do. Unfortunately, she moved her feet in the process.
Madsen Miller, one-handed pass up ahead for Caldwell. Trying to break the defense from 17, no good. And the rebound goes to Amber Williams.
That was a nice box up by Amber, coming down with the rebound.
Jelinek feeding down low for Morris, and traveling steps by Kelly Morris.
Kelly's shuffling those feet after she receives the ball. What she has to do is when the ball is coming towards her, if she knows where the defense is, she has to make sure that she is stepping as she is receiving the ball. Either that, or when she goes to fake, she has to make sure that she maintains that pivot foot.
Janet Hannenberg out of Xavier, and Cindy Lamping out of Purdue back in for Supreme Court. Lamping gets the ball, now up ahead for Kathy Williams. And a hack underneath. They're going to get Regin Stewart on this one.
Well, there was a hold right there, but Wright State, again, picking up with just 2 players. Supreme Court has 3 players up, and all they're doing is just passing the ball into the middle and breaking the press.
Kathy Williams to inbound to Madsen Miller. Here's Hannenberg, baseline J, yes. And the Wright State lead is now down to 1.
Wright State has to take care of the ball.
This one nearly taken away by Wright State. Amber Williams pokes it out of bounds.
Supreme Court picking up full court, Wright State not expecting it, and you have to make sure you know where the defense is. And the person inbounding the ball has to make sure that they see the defense and communicate to their teammates.
Lamping to inbound at quarter court. It'll come to Madsen Miller.
But what Wright State has to make sure that they don't get in a habit of is...
Here's a shot for 3, in and out, and Williams will track it down.
Carroll wanted that one, but Wright State has to make sure they take care of the basketball.
Regin Stewart, yes. And the Raider lead is 3, 50-47 with 16:50 left to play in the ball game.
Wright State, that possession really picking up their intensity.
And a 20-second timeout charge to Supreme Court will keep things right here. What we had seen at half was a 7-point lead. It's now down to 3. What's going on with Wright State?
Well, there's a couple of things. Supreme Court is mixing things up, and they're really starting to pressure a little bit. Wright State being a little sluggish and not really recognizing what Supreme Court is doing. Supreme Court scores 2 points. Wright State's taking the ball out of bounds, and Wright State's not aware that they're picking up full court, and they turn the ball right over. That is a little bit of youth, and I know that's what's concerning Lisa Fitch. That recognition, that will give you some problems. But at the same time, Wright State has to make sure that they maintain the tempo of the game.
We neglected to do so in the first half, and we'll rectify it now. Tonight's officials, Bob Giuliano, Harold Steinke, and Lee Marlowe. They get the dirty work tonight.
So far, the officiating's been very consistent.
sure they'd like to hear that. Here's Madsen Miller. Back for Lamping. Looking to penetrate, puts it up off glass, no good, and a whistle call.
Well, Lamping with the penetration. A good ball reversal by Supreme Court.
Regent Stewart, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Supreme Court doing a good job of reversing the ball. They have good ball movement. And as you'll be able to see right here on the replay, they swung the ball over, and the penetration right there, just putting her head down and going. Lamping does a good job of making sure she seals the ball with her body and not allowing the defense to get to the ball.
Mandy Jelinek out, Shanda Hollingsworth back in. Kelly Waters will enter this ball game in place of Regent Stewart. Lamping got the first. Now looking to reduce the lead to 1, and she will. Wright State looking to regroup here. They are up by 1. They had a double-digit lead, as much as 14 earlier in this ball game.
Well, this will be a test of their composure here.
Carrie Bender up high for Shanda Hollingsworth.
They're being patient in their half-court set. Good picks right there on the ball.
And she will knock down the 3. It looked like a pass, but she got it home, and the Raiders lead it now by 4.
You can't give her an opportunity to get that shot off. She's dangerous.
Madsen Miller, the feet underneath, and deflected away. Here's Amber Williams. Here's the Raiders. Up ahead. Shanda Hollingsworth will pop it from 18. Leave it short. Kelly Waters, the rebound. Stick back. No good. And Supreme Court comes away with it with Sydney Lamping. And this one out of bounds, and it'll be a Wright State possession.
Well, Kelly Waters putting herself in a position to come down with the rebound, and great positioning on the ball side, right underneath on that low block. But what Kelly has to make sure she does is gather herself, go up strong with the ball, protect the ball with her body. She's come down with a couple rebounds and hasn't finished on that second opportunity. She needs to score on those.
Connie Hamburg and Yolanda Carpenter back on in for Supreme Court. But with that, 15:44 left to go in the ball game. Raiders by 4. It's Raider basketball on Media One. (53-49) here at the Irvin J. Nutter Center in the second of 2 exhibition games for the Wright State Raiders. They continue to lead Supreme Court, and right now Toni Roesch, they're just kind of holding on.
They are holding on, shooting 46% from the field, and they are shooting 78% from the line. But one of the concerns, though, is that they have to make sure that they finish on the second and third opportunities when they have them, and also take care of the basketball.
A really big high note for Wright State. They have hit 8 threes tonight, shooting 50% from the charity stripe. Terry Bender will inbound here on the near side.
They're taking advantage of Supreme Court sitting back in that defense and sagging man and also in that zone.
Williams back to Bender. And they keep it out on the perimeter with 20 seconds left to go on the shot clock.
Wright State being patient, working a high-low, having that baseline post player popping short corner, looking to get it in to Kelly Morris.
Now Bender to 3, knock it down. Kelly Bender, it's now 56-49.
Great patience, good execution. Carrie Bender doing a nice job taking her time on her shot.
Here's another shot attempt for 3, no good. Lamping the rebound, and a whistle underneath.
Amber Williams getting caught a little bit late going in to get that box out. She was attempting to get there, but a little bit late, and that's where she fouled.
Well, Wright State, they saw their lead fall to 1, and now they get back-to-back threes by Shanda Hollingsworth and Carrie Bender, now back to 7. Lamping to inbound, and does so. Hamburg, Madsen Miller. And the shot put up, no good. Madsen Miller gets it, pops it from 8, no good, and Amber Williams gets the rebound.
Well, Carrie Bender trying and attempting to take the charge there. Unfortunately, she didn't get it.
Kelly Waters in and out.
Right here.
And the whistle underneath.
Kelly doing a good job of getting out and filling her lane, but what she has to do when she goes in is she has to make sure that she uses the glass. The backboard is your friend. You need to use it.
Sounds like a lesson that should be learned in elementary school as we watch this one on the replay. A lot of contact underneath.
Well, Kelly doing a good job of getting her own rebound and going up strong. She did a much better job of getting the ball and going up that time.
Amber guilty of the infraction, and Waters gets the first.
this is we had talked early on about this being a good test for Wright State. And you're seeing some very good things happening right here with Wright State. You know, you get into a one-point game, you could be very panicked and look to take some quick shots, but they're not. They're being very patient.
And a foul away from the ball, underneath. As number 35, Yolanda Carpenter says, no, not me. But the ref says, it's you, and they head the other way.
All she needs to do is ask Amber Williams. Amber Williams was on the receiving end of that, that foul. Amber kind of holding her head a little bit.
Speaking of Amber, she has the ball over for Bender. Now back up on high. Hollingsworth all day, but opts not to take the three. Now here's a shot, put up the three, no good by Amber Williams. And tracked down, we'll see, it'll head the other way for Supreme Court.
I know Amber might be getting a little frustrated right now that her shots aren't falling, but she really is doing a good job of taking some good shots. She just needs to continue to keep her legs, get her legs going, be strong, and make sure that she finishes off.
Pressure up front, and they get it away across the timeline. Williams on over for Caldwell. Now they play it the other way, now back again for Williams. Back up on high, they keep it around the arc. And a whistle, contact.
Kelly Waters being a little overly aggressive, getting her hand right there on the arm of Supreme Court, but what she has to do is she has to make sure she establishes her position, take the passing lane away with one hand, and putting pressure on the ball with the other. And right there, that's what Shanna's doing very well.
Here's a shot put up from the line, no good. Here's a stick back and in. Connie Hamburg gets the deuce, and it's now 57-51. 13:45 left to play in the ball game.
Well, that's one of the difficult things running a zone is that backside box out.
Waters behind the arc. Gives it up for Bender, triggers the three up high, no good, off the side of the rim. And watching it go out of bounds is Hamburg, and it'll be a Supreme Court possession.
Well, that's a good job by Wright State right there. Kelly Waters putting her head down, making the penetration, drawing the defense, and then kicking it back out to Carrie Bender. And Carrie doing a good job of putting up the shot.
Jelinek and Janine Andrews re-enter this ball game in place of Kelly Morse and Shanda Hollingsworth. Hamburg up ahead. Caldwell has it. It has it nearly thrown away, and a jump ball in the position will go to Wright State.
Good aggressive defense by Amber Williams. Amber doing a good job getting her hand on the ball, causing a loose ball, and then diving on the floor for it.
Bender will trigger to Jelinek. Williams looking around, finds Bender on the near wing. Now back up on high for Jelinek.
Get the ball reversal, trying to isolate the post inside. Kelly Waters working very hard inside in that post.
Following away to the hoop. Amber Williams looked like she actually had a lane there.
Well, she was definitely trying to create one, and that's what you have to do. You have to be able to penetrate, kick it back out. That's what frees things up.
Carrie Bender to inbound. Up in the front court, up high for Jelinek. Shot clock not moving. Neither is the game clock. Now it's finally going on. Jelinek on the baseline, stuck there. Here's Bender, open three, knock it down, Carrie Bender.
Well, good patience by Wright State, but it certainly helped having a little extra 10 seconds or so, making Supreme Court play a little bit more defense, a little longer than what they wanted.
And a foul on the way to the basket. Looks like it's on Amber Williams.
Now she's being a little over-aggressive, but you have to give her credit, though, because she's trying to create the loose ball and really trying to stir some things up defensively. But at the time you're stirring some things up, you really don't want to foul. You don't want that clock to stop.
The inbound goes to Caldwell, and they play that little triangle offense on the outset. Now the feed underneath, and a foul. Contact underway up. Say it's an offensive foul. Nice D on Kelly Waters.
You have to give credit to Kelly Waters. She did a great job coming over from outside defense and not allowing Janet Hannenberg to turn on that shoulder. Kelly did a great job of stepping right onto that shoulder.
Coach Fitch, of course, standing as usual, just kind of saying, we're going with the flow of the game. 60-51 with 12:34 left to play in the ball game. Waters has the ball, looking around, back up on high for Bender, nearly loses it, now looking to make something happen. Underneath for Regin Stewart, puts it up, her shot partially blocked and taken away.
Regin really didn't have a whole lot of room to work that time. She might have wanted to just kick it back outside.
Lamping up ahead for Hamburg. We find Hanneberg underneath, and they're going to say she took a step.
Oh, once again, great defense by Wright State. Yeah, Janine Andrews giving some pressure on Hanneberg as she's cutting, looking to take that pass away, that initial entry pass. Right there, Kelly Waters coming over, great help side defense.
Initially, she looked like she got smushed in a pretty big sandwich there and still got called for the travel.
Well, she did actually travel. She wasn't too happy with that. I think she thought she got fouled. Great adjustment Wright State has made playing Hanneberg.
Hollingsworth on over for Regin Stewart on the near wing. Back up on high, Mandy Jelinek. On the far wing, Kelly Waters. Feeds underneath, Janine Andrews. Oh, nice pass to Regin Stewart, off glass and in.
I'm really impressed with what Kelly Waters is doing right now. She's working extremely hard without the ball, and once she gets the ball, she's looking to penetrate, create, and open some things up for her teammates.
Cross-court passing, Madsen Miller. Now over for Lamping on the baseline. Puts it in motion, now back, and a foul. Right on the line, and it'll be a Supreme Court possession.
Regin getting herself caught there. She needs to cut off that baseline, not allowing that penetration. That's a couple times Cindy Lamping's been able to get that baseline penetration. She likes that. She'll put her head down and go. But that's where, when you're playing one-on-one with that basketball, you got to make sure that you cut that baseline off and not allow that penetration.
Regin will leave. She has 4 fouls on the night. And coming back in her place, Amber Williams. Coming out for Supreme Court is Hanneberg.
As a defensive player, you have to know what you're giving your offense. And when you know what you're giving them, then you have to make sure that you take it away if they take it. And that's exactly what Regin was offering, was the baseline drive.
Front end of the one-on-one missed, but they get the miscue. Lamping back to Madsen Miller for 3. Knock it down. 62-54. We've got 11-17 left to play in the ball game. Here's a shot the other way and good.
Good job by Shannon making sure she gets out, filling her lane. Good penetration to the basket.
Wright State lead back in double digits at 64-54.
Wright State coming back and answering Carol Madsen's three-point shot.
Here's a shot put up from 18, and that is up and in. Beverly Williams gets the deuce, and it's now 64-56.
Well, that's one of the things we were talking about in the first half. When you're on the ball, you need to be on the ball. You cannot back off. And that's right. What Wright State is doing is they're just giving that ball a little bit too much room to work.
Hollingsworth on over for Williams. Feeding underneath. And we've got a whistle on offensive foul. We're headed the other way.
Yeah, I do think that was a little bit of a travel on Kelly Waters. And what the post players have to do when they receive that ball is make sure they know where the defense is before they actually receive the ball, so they know what move they're going to make.
Timeout on the floor. 10:26 left to play in the ball game. Wright State 64, Supreme Court 56. We'll be back in just a moment. 64-56 here at the Irvin J. Nutter Center as we have 10:26 left to play here in this ball game. Wright State looking to go 2-0 here in this exhibition season, and why not? They've really put on an offensive clinic.
Well, they sure are. They're shooting 50% from the three-point line and 47% from the field. And certainly they're shooting 73% from the line. They're doing a nice job. But what really is impressing right now at this point, especially early on in the season, is the composure that these young players have. You've got 2 freshmen on the floor. You have, one freshman and 2 sophomores. 1 junior on the floor. They're doing a nice job being patient in their half-court offense.
And to tune in for the best in this women's basketball team and the other athletics here at Wright State, tune in. You can get online as a shot by Madsen Miller goes for 3. You can tune in online to www.wright.edu/athletics. And a 20-second timeout here taken by the Raiders.
Well, right there, Coach Fitch is not real happy with what's going on because, once again, leaving the ball alone, and you can't leave the ball alone. You have to make sure you put pressure on it. Carol can be very dangerous. She's starting to get into her rhythm. She's starting to get into her groove. She's getting her feet underneath her shot. She was off the floor that time, really using her legs on her jumper, and she's going to be very dangerous.
In fact, Madsen Miller doing a great job. She has 9 points, 3 of 6 from behind the arc. So, of course, all of her shots from behind the arc and getting 3 threes.
Well,
Wright State, no slouch in that department, though.
No, if you give Carol any more opportunity, though, to get the ball off, she's certainly going to get into a rhythm because she can nail it anywhere on the court.
Kelly Waters getting some significant minutes, getting it into Mandy Jelinek. Raiders up 5, 64-59. Raiders looking to run some clock, and why not? They've got a lead, and they want to find out what they can do towards the end of the game. Here's a shot for 3, knock it down. Shanda Hollingsworth. Oh my, her 4th 3 of the night.
Well, Shan had to get herself out of the doghouse on that one because she gave up the 3 by Carol Madsen. She had to come back and answer it, which she did.
This one headed out of bounds. It'll go the way to the Supreme Court. Boy, Hollingsworth doing a good job tonight. In fact, part of the game high, 14 points.
Well, I know she wasn't happy about that defensive effort, that last possession, so she's really coming back this possession and giving some great effort.
Hollingsworth pushing it up for Amber Williams. In the lane and in. No, they're going to call it a travel. Wave off the basket.
Well, that was a nice attempt by Amber to try and create. Unfortunately, she traveled. That might have been a situation where she wanted to bring the ball back out. Supreme Court did a good job of filling in transition defensively and stopping the ball. Not one where they needed to rush it.
Madsen Miller looking again to shoot from the outside. Now stuck on the near baseline. And the foul. And a traveling call. Nice D from Amber Williams.
Well, Amber Williams really did a good job of pressuring Carol Madsen and not allowing Carol to get her shot off nor the penetration. And Amber did a good job of sealing her, as opposed to what had been happening, just leaving the ball open and allowing Carol to get into her groove.
21st turnover from Supreme Court. Raiders by 8. Amber Williams, guarded by Madsen Miller. Now feeding for Janine Andrews. Low block, double teamed, and taken away.
Post players need to recognize a little bit sooner how many players are on them. They're being double teamed. That's where they need to kick it out because they don't have any room to work.
Baseline, now the kick out. Caldwell from 18, leaves it short. And the stick back is up and in. Beverly Williams underneath the basket, and it's now 67-61 with 8:29 left to go in this ball game.
Once again, Wright State giving a second opportunity to Supreme Court. You know, initially they made Supreme Court take an off-balance shot, kind of rushed it a little bit. They have to come down with the rebound.
Andrews looking for Shanda Hollingsworth. She's in control of the ball with 12 on the shot clock. Waters on the baseline. Over for Hollingsworth, open 3, and it's a little long. Andrews gets the rebound, shoots it on the baseline, in and out.
Good second effort by Andrews, but not allowing that ball to fall, unfortunately.
Madsen Miller in control, back to Lamping, back to Madsen Miller, now over for Williams. Puts it up, in and out. Janine Andrews gets the defensive board. Jelinek up ahead for Williams.
Good decision by Amber Williams, slowing the ball up.
Feed underneath for Waters, no good. Hard off the backside.
Well, Kelly trying to use the backboard that time, but unfortunately for her, she didn't get her shoulder squared and didn't go up on balance.
Timeout charge to Supreme Court. We'll keep things right here as we have 7:26 left to go, or is this a full timeout?
Well, looks like a full timeout.
Well, a full timeout. So with 7:26 left to go in this ball game, Raiders by 6. It's Raider basketball on Media One. Geoff Kim, Toni Roesch with you here on Media One, where the Wright State Raiders lead Supreme Court in exhibition play 67-61. Pretty good showing right now in these first 2 games. I mean, we don't really have anything to really grade Wright State upon. This is exhibition play. These don't count on your records, essentially. But they have shot well from the field, and they do look a little bit more poised than you would think a young team would.
Well, you can tell they're being very well coached, and they're really executing what Coach Fitch wants. But, you know, at the same time, this team needs to make sure that they continue and not stop here. They need to make sure that they use this as an assessment, an evaluation, and continue to improve.
They look to the far baseline, rebuffed. Caldwell underneath. For the big girl underneath and in. Janet Hanneberg gets the deuce. 16 points for her, and it's now a 4-point Raider lead.
Janet splitting that defense and going up strong for the shot.
Shanda Hollingsworth pointing out directions. Now feeds for Regin Stewart back in this ball game. Double team, puts it up, no good, and the rebound goes to Caldwell.
Well, that was a good jump by Janet Hindenburg coming off of that that screen right there. Janet stepping up and not allowing that pick to happen. Regin needs to recognize that and bring it back out.
Madsen Miller for three, knock it down. Carol Madsen Miller. And it's a 1-point Raider lead, 67-66. And Supreme Court coming back in a traveling violation on Mandy Jelinek. Unbelievable.
Well, I know Mandy's upset about that when she didn't see the defense coming up from behind her. That's where her teammates need to talk to her.
And now a timeout charge to Wright State, and we'll keep things right here. This time, really, we mean it. 6:28 left to go in this one. And if you're Coach Fitch out on the sideline, what do you say to a team that's given up a double-digit lead and, try and get their confidence back?
Well, they're not being very smart right now in terms of their shot selection. Regin, that time, you got to give her credit. She's trying to penetrate, trying to make things happen, but at the same time, she needs to recognize when that defense jumps out and not allows a penetration. She can maintain her dribble, bring it back out, and you still have 15 seconds on the clock. You don't need to force anything. She was looking, to come off of that screen, but there wasn't a pick and roll, so you don't have anything, just bring it back out. On the defensive end, Wright State's still allowing Supreme Court to split them. They are not taking the turn away. A few possessions back around the 10-minute mark where Kelly Waters was coming over and giving some great help side defense, not allowing Hindenburg to turn her shoulders. They've stopped doing that, and they're allowing Hindenburg to make sure, or to give her the lane right into the basket. And you have to make sure that you take that away.
Well, they are getting some post points from Hindenburg, and of course they're getting some perimeter points from Madsen Miller, and of course that's proving to be a very good combination for them here in the second half.
Well, some of the problem is coming from the recovery from the penetration that Supreme Court is making, stopping the ball, stopping the penetration, and then the recovery out by the perimeter players onto that three-point shooter.
Caldwell leading at the point for Supreme Court. Over on the near side for Kathy Williams. The feed underneath. Hindenburg off glass, no good. Here's a stick back attempt and in. And for the first time tonight, Supreme Court has the lead. It's 68-67. Here's Regin Stewart. She is blocked but fouled on the way up by Hindenburg.
You give Regin Stewart an opportunity in the open court to get moving, and she did a good job going up strong with the basketball.
Supreme Court fouls on 10, Janet Hindenburg.
As you can take a look here, she's got her head down, going up strong. Hindenburg coming over and fouling her. But as we were speaking about the defense, the half-court defense, Wright State had mixed up going into a man defense, and Janine Andrews did a great job of going up straight, not allowing Hindenburg to get her shoulders turned. Hindenburg misses a shot, but unfortunately, Beverly Williams came down with the rebound and put it back up.
Regin gets them both, and now Wright State has regained the lead, 69-68. Kathy Williams puts it in play, looking baseline, puts it up, and no good. And hunted down by Regin Stewart, pushing it up court for Amber Williams in the paint. And we'll give back to Regin Stewart, and that shot partially blocked. Here's Jess Vandergeest high off glass and in.
Well, Jess Vandergeest playing both ends of the court. She did a great job stopping the penetration on the ball, getting down and coming down with the rebound at the other end of the court and going up for 2 points.
Caldwell looking underneath. Turnaround Jay in the post, yes. Beverly Williams, and it's a 1-point Raider lead with 5:23 left to play in the ball game.
That's where Regin Stewart has to belly up a little bit, not allowing that shot to get off.
Intended inside for Regin Stewart, and it looks like she was fouled by Kathy Williams.
That was a great backside cut by Regin, getting the ball into the post there. But what Regin has to see is there were 3 people on her. That was a tough entry from the wing down into that low post. What she needs to recognize, though, is she can either split the defense or she has to kick the ball back outside.
Regin will head to the line, where she is 2 of 2 from the charity stripe. Of course, you just saw those 2 as she tied and regained the lead for Wright State. Wright State shooting 77% from the charity stripe. That's getting it done. And she'll be 3 for 3.
Those free throws are so important. If you take a look at when Wright State played Slovakia, that's how they were ahead in most of the game.
1 of 2 for Stewart on the line. 2-point Raider lead. Caldwell has her pass blocked away, but Supreme Court recovers. Hannahberg, yes. Off glass, and we're tied at 72.
That's just a tough situation right there. Wright State doing a good job getting their hands on the ball.
Amber Williams in the lane, contact, and we'll see who this one goes against. And it looks like it's going to be on Connie Hamburg.
Connie thought she was set, but right there, Amber Williams not having a whole lot of room to work. You got to give her credit, though, because she's looking to make some things happen, but you need to make some smart decisions here. You got 4:53 remaining. There she goes. She receives the ball going in, splitting the defense. Not really a whole lot of room to work.
But she gets the benefit of the call, makes her first free throw, breaks the tie, and will put the Raiders up. No, they'll keep it at 1. Turnaround J by Andrews, no good. And it's out of bounds. It'll head to Supreme Court. Nice play by Janine Andrews on the initial attempt on the stick back.
Well, Janine did do a good job of squaring up and seeing what she had, but she also had the lane, good power move to the baseline, and she didn't take it.
Well, talking with Coach Lisa Fitch, she calls Janine Andrews a finesse player, and of course she's just coming back from back surgery. Hannahberg has this one stripped away, a jump ball, and it will head back to Supreme Court.
Great adjustments by Wright State. Right there getting on Hannahberg's shoulder, not allowing her to turn or actually get the drive to the basket. Jess Vandergeest is all over the place right now. She's really stepping up.
Andrews will take a seat on the bench, and Kelly Morris, the starter tonight, will come back on in. Hamburg back to Caldwell on the inbounds. And a foul. Will they get Morris? No, an offensive foul on number 35, Yolanda Carpenter, and the Raiders will take possession.
Give credit to Kelly Morris, taking the cutter right on her chest, and she was able to pick up the foul. I know she was feeling that one. Yolanda Carpenter not real happy with that call, but the official made the right call.
Raider substitution number 33, Kelly Waters.
Waters will re-enter the ball game for Regin Stewart.
Morris is at the line shooting 1 in the bonus.
2 players for Wright State in foul trouble. That is Stewart and Jess Vandergeest. And both of them have been very productive. Morris misses the front of the 1-and-1. Here's Jess Vandergeest, no good. This one out of bounds. It'll be a Wright State possession. Last touched by Beverly Williams.
I know Jess was upset not making that shot. She did a great job of getting her hands on the ball and keeping the ball alive.
Kelly Waters to inbound on the near baseline as Regin Stewart will re-enter the ball game for Waters. So Waters in there really just to give Regin a little break. Inbound will come up high for Jelinek. Fakes the shot from 16 and rebuffed, but here's Regin from the baseline, no good.
Nice little jumper by Regin. She just couldn't get that one to fall.
Caldwell to Hamburg. This one out of bounds, and it'll head the other way. Last touch by Supreme Court's Yolanda Carpenter.
Wright State making some very good adjustments defensively. Better pressure on the ball, not allowing the penetration. Also, they're doing a very good job of taking that turn away that the post players are making, putting their head down and going to the basket. They're not allowing that to happen. They're also doing a great job of taking the cutters on the chest. They need to continue to do that this next 4 minutes.
Up high with Amber Williams. Raiders by 1, 73-72. Morris underneath, low block, no good. And the rebound to Supreme Court.
Kelly Morris doing a good job splitting the defense. She just needs to go up strong with that basketball.
Beverly Williams on the move, rebuffed by Jess Vandergeest. Caldwell looking underneath, finding Madsen Miller. Now the dish and taken away by Morris. Nearly traveled, but here's Jelinek up ahead for the shot put up and in. Regin Stewart to Jess Vandergeest in transition. The Raiders go up 3.
Very well executed. Wright State has to be careful here because they have a mismatch with Carol Madsen and Amber Williams, and it looks like they're going to try and post Carol Madsen up a little bit.
Caldwell looking baseline, pulls it up, leaving it short, and a foul going against Supreme Court. Regin Stewart, among the others, clapping her hands.
Regin Stewart doing a good job getting her, using her body and getting good box out.
Raiders back as they lead at 75-72. They had blown a 14-point first half lead. had gotten down at one point by 1 point to the Supreme Court players as they now head to the line with Jess Vandergeest and now back up by 3.
Well, you have to credit Lisa Fitch making some very good adjustments, and you know she tells the players the whole game what they should be doing. But you know, at this point in time, it's sinking in when it needs to, and she's really enforced and reinforced the adjustments that needed to be made, and the players did a good job of adjusting to that.
Andrews and Waters will check back in. Jess Vandergeest.
You know, from the spectator standpoint, you sit there and say, why doesn't the coach tell him to do this? And why doesn't the coach tell him to do that? If you only knew how many times that the coaches do tell him to do that and the players don't execute it.
Jess gets both free throws, and it's a 5-point Raider lead with 3 minutes left to play.
Good help by Jess Vandergeest right there.
Williams to Lamping, looking around, now puts it on the floor. Looking to penetrate, create, puts it up, no good, but a foul underneath.
Janine Andrews battling inside with Janet Hannenberg.
They're going to call that on Mandy Jelinek. Her first. And a shooting foul, Lamping to the line.
Wright State really buckling down defensively. They know they can't allow Janet to have the ball.
Lamping gets the first. She has done well tonight, including that one, 7 of 8 from the charity stripe. Gretchen Stewart re-enters for Kelly Waters. Raiders by 4.
Well, Sydney Lamping 7 for 8 at the free throw line. They have to make sure that they don't foul her, as we talked about free throws being so dangerous.
Now 8 for 9. It's a Raider 3-point lead. Here's Gretchen Stewart, closed off the lane. Now gets it back from Andrews. Jelinek has it on the near wing. Back up high for Amber Williams, now for Jess Vandergeest. And they keep the rotation alive out on the perimeter. Jelinek back high with 10 on the shot clock. The feed underneath, and nice passing plays, but a foul underneath.
Excellent patience by Wright State, working inside, working outside, working their triangles, reversing the ball, good ball movement, very, very, very good patience.
Hannenberg, I'm sorry, go ahead.
They're trying to take as much time off this clock as they can, and that's a good decision by Wright State.
Hannenberg the foul, and Williams to the line. Amber, 2 of 4 from the charity stripe. As Kelly Waters awaits to check back in.
Amber needs to make sure she uses her legs on this free throw here.
In and out. Amber having a little bit of a tough night from the field and from the stripe tonight. But Coach Fitch says she expects good things from her before the season is over.
Well, she's already showing some very good sparks.
And she won't get either, but Andrews, the stick back, no good. A tussle on the court. It will head to Wright State. Last touched underneath by Supreme Court.
Once again, you got to credit Jess Vandergeest keeping that ball alive. She's on the floor scrambling for the ball. But Wright State not really connecting on second opportunities when they have them. They need to score on those second opportunities. If you can't make it the first time, you have to make it the second time.
Jelinek on over for Williams, triggering the 3, off glass, no good. Up high with Kathy Williams and Carol Madsen-Miller. This one's stolen away by Mandy Jelinek. Looking to take it to the hole, and it counted! Mandy Jelinek will head to the line for an old-fashioned 3-point play as the Raiders now lead it 79-74.
Mandy Jelinek with the aggressive play defensively, coming up, shooting into the passing lane, getting that steal, going down. She could have passed it off, but going in strong for the basket. Great job by Mandy.
And we have a timeout on the floor, so with a $1:59 left to play in this ball game, Raiders by 5. It's Raider basketball on Media One. A 2-minute warning, as it were. We have a $1:59 left to go in this ball game. The Raiders by 5. And I guess, Toni, the question begs, can the Raiders hang on?
Well, they can if they continue to play the way they're playing and really stepping up and answering Supreme Court's call. Supreme Court looking to be a threat from not only the three-point line, but penetration, putting their head down, looking to turn on their shoulder, putting their head down and going. Wright State made some great adjustments, not allowing that to happen, and really putting some good pressure on the ball, not allowing Carol Matson to have her way, and also not allowing Jana Hanberg to get any points.
Mandy Jelinek, 2 of 2 from the charity stripe, will get a chance to make this an old-fashioned 3.
Not only do they have to make sure that they continue to keep the pressure up defensively, but they need to take their time offensively, take the time off the clock.
80-74. Raiders by 6. Lamping. Look up high. They play high-low, deflected out of bounds by Williams, and it'll be a Supreme Court possession.
Janine Indra is doing a good job coming up, getting her hands in the passing lane, put her body in the passing lane, and really taking the vision away.
Regin Stewart back on in. Lamping in the lane, up and in. From the free throw line, and it's 80-76.
Lamping lights up penetration.
Mandy Jelinek up high for Amber Williams. Gives back to Jelinek. Now for Regin Stewart on the wing, looking to penetrate, up and no good. Everything but the basket. Jess Vandergeest, the rebound, but a jump ball.
I know Regin Stewart's wishing she had that one back. Doing a good job of taking advantage of a little bit of quickness factor there, a little bit of advantage that she has, taking the ball right into the basket, not unfortunately not scoring.
Sydney Lamping made sure it was a jump ball situation. Wright State gets it in alternates. Vandergeest on the free throw line, looking around.
It's all right, they can be patient. They don't need to rush anything.
Here's a shot put up and in.
Good execution. Mandy did a good job coming off that high post, going in strong. Nice little give and go.
82-76. As we come up on 1 minute left to play in the ball game. Lamping, baseline, no, and they retain possession and a foul. Beverly Williams tried to grab a hold of it, and as she was doing so, she was getting nailed.
That's Regin Stewart's 5th foul, I do believe, and yeah.
Yes. So Regin Stewart will exit the ball game with 11 points, 4 of 11 shooting, 3 of 4 from the charity stripe. She had a couple of rebounds and, count this, 4 assists.
Well, it was a good effort tonight by Regin. Kelly Waters, she's been doing a great job tonight, working extremely hard. I've been real impressed with her effort tonight. She's not only working hard in the post, but great off-ball movement.
Well, Coach Fitch calls her intense. So if you know your head coach is calling you a word, an adjective like intense, only good things can come out of it, I would imagine.
Well, it's, you know, when you work that hard and the coach recognizes it, it just makes you want to work that much harder.
Front end of the 1-on-1 missed by Beverly Williams, puts it back on the baseline and in. Raiders by 4 as we have 51.7 seconds left to play in this ball game. Mandy Jelinek trying to clear out her players, wants the ball. Has the rock across midcourt. Over for Waters. Back up on high for Williams as they look to finish this one off. Jess Vandergeest, baseline, double team, puts it up, no good. It is out of bounds, and it'll be a Raider possession with 35 ticks of the clock left to go.
Not quite a shot I think Wright State wanted to take. Jess got herself in a little bit of trouble. Jana Henberg coming over and giving good help side defense. Jess needs to recognize that, keep her dribble, and bring the ball back out. Take the time off the clock.
Waters to Amber Williams as this one off, but she gets it back on her own recognizance. Here's Jelinek back up on high.
Those are the kind of plays that give your coach gray hairs.
Vandergeest back up on high for Jelinek. And she is fouled by Madsen Miller with 19.1 seconds left to go in the ball game, and she'll head to the line.
Well, that's not a bad foul by Carol. She needed to stop the clock. But when you start fumbling the ball like that with 25 seconds left on the clock, you're only up 4 points. Those got to make sure you take care of the ball a little bit better.
And Jelinek will get the first. Perfect from the line. Looking to make it 5 of 5. And will.
Good concentration by Mandy Jelinek and great leadership.
Raiders by 6. 84-78. Looking to close things out. Here's Lamping for 3. Head of the key in. 84-81. And a timeout called. Charge the Supreme Court. Their head coach, Tobette Pleasant-Brown, wants to talk things over, see what they'll play on defense.
Well, they're going to make sure that they get the matchups here and making sure that they have the right personnel on Wright State so that there won't be any mismatches. Wright State has to make sure they set up in a press offense, getting some good picks, being able to enter the ball.
Wright State doing a pretty good job tonight, led by Mandy Jelinek. She set the tone early on with a pair of threes to start out the scoring for the Raiders. She has a team-high 17 points. She is followed up by Jess Vandergeest and Shanda Hollingsworth with 14 points each. Regin Stewart followed out with 11 points, and Carrie Bender off the bench has 9. So they nearly have what they did in the first game, this exhibition game. They already have 4 players with double figures. They might get 5.
Well, they're very close to that, but these players are coming to play, and they are using these exhibition games to their advantage. And I can't say it enough and emphasize it enough, the fact that they're really trying to execute what Coach Fitch wants. Going into this last 12 seconds here, it's going to be extremely important that, number one, Wright State get the ball in bounds. They cannot afford to have a 5-second call. When they get the ball in bounds, they have to make sure that they take care of it. If they're going to put the ball on the floor, they have to make sure that they push the ball up the court expecting the foul, because you know Supreme Court's going to come after the ball. If they don't put the ball on the court, if they don't clear it out, then they have to have the ball reversal and making sure that they move to the ball and take care of it. They cannot afford a turnover at this point.
All right, State winning most of the battles tonight. In fact, doing a pretty good job. In fact, doing a great job from behind the arc, shooting 48% for threes tonight, and that has really got the job done. 11 of 23. Boy, won't you take that any night?
Well, as much as you can get it, I would have guessed. But, you know, I know Amber Williams a little frustrated with her shooting, but she was taking some good shots. And, you know, you got to wonder sometimes if maybe her legs are a little tired or but sometimes you're just not quite in your rhythm.
The inbound will be triggered from Vandergeest, and Mandy Jelinek is fouled. Sharon Caldwell guilty of the infraction, and Mandy will head to the line.
Well, right there, Supreme Court giving Wright State an opportunity to get the ball in. Now, though Supreme Court was doing a good job of pressuring the ball, to get the ball in, stopping the clock very quickly. They still have a lot of time to work. There's still a lot of time on this clock.
Mandy, as we had mentioned before, perfect from the charity stripe, 5 of 5.
Wright State has to make sure that they do a good job of matching up, coming up onto Supreme Court, because if you give them any opportunity, they are so dangerous.
Mandy gets the first, looking for her second, and looking to put the Raiders up even more, in and out.
You got Carol Madsen shooting 3 of 7 from the three-point line.
Madsen Miller triggers the 3, and it's off the side of the rim. Mandy Jelinek the rebound. Up ahead for Hollingsworth, and this game is over. Wright State doing a good job to the finish. Final score at the Irving J. Nutter Center. Wright State 85, Supreme Court 81. And Toni and I will be back with some final comments in just a moment. And a happy return to the Irving J. Nutter Center as we have a final Wright State over Supreme Court, 85-81. And of course, once again, free throws were a factor tonight.
Not only free throws, but they had some very good shooting 48% from the three-point line, shooting 42% from the field, and shooting 67% from the line. Great execution, good patience by Wright State.
And talking about teams in double figures, boy, Supreme Court, they had some great shooting. They had 5 players in double figures, but nothing much from the bench.
Now, they didn't get a whole lot from the bench, but you've got to credit Wright State to making the adjustments, not allowing some of the freedom that they allowed early on, especially towards the tail end of the game. Last 4 minutes or so of the game, they really did a good job of making some good adjustments and taking a lot of things away that Supreme Court had in the first half.
Mandy Jelinek led the way for Wright State, a game high, 18 points. And boy, in going back to that first half, she set the tone with those 2 quick 3 points.
Mandy came ready to play tonight, and what you have to make sure is you get your leadership from your point guard, and Mandy is really doing a good job of not only leading, but she's also doing a lot of other things off the ball, and she's doing a good job of making sure she controls the tempo of the court.
Looking also at some of the other numbers for Wright State. 9 points for Carrie Bender, 14 for Shanda Hollingsworth as we hear the out music here. So we'll wrap this up kind of quickly. Mandy Jelinek had 18 points. Janet Hannenberg for Supreme Court also had 18 points, also a game high. So Wright State moves to 2-0 in the exhibition season, as we will run into you next time on the 21st of this month. It'll be a regular season matchup against Canisius. So for Toni Roesch, I'm Geoff Kim, and thanks to our producer-director Tom Stokes as we bid you so long from the Nutter Center.